So, one of the videos that Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything Dylan did a couple years ago was wondering, where Bonds Beyond Time fit in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Timeline, because basically the original Duel Monsters series and GX and 5Ds were basically the same continuity. Just, they took place years in the future. Some would say Zexal is the same way. Years in the future. But, if that is the case, where exactly, does the movie itself land? Like what parts of each of the original trilogy of Yu-Gi-Oh! Series does it fall into? Now, as far as, trying to figure that out, he looked at GX and he said that he feels that the series takes place after the movie takes place after the GX series. He feels it takes place after the GX series, and even though, and sorry about that for a second, I thought I heard something. But anyway, he feels like it takes place after the GX series, even though there was a fourth season, or at least one more season, that didn't get an English dub, apparently. I don't know why that reason was, but just didn't. But he feels that if you look at it from a Western chronological standpoint, the movie takes place after the original trilogy of seasons for GX ended, because Jaden was going to go off, traveling the world, I guess trying to master him, kind of masterate, if you, easy for me to say masterate, sorry about that, mastering, that's what the word I'm looking for, mastering his skills as a duelist even more. And that is technically a good way to end the show. If you have the lead character being like, okay, I have, the girl I was interested in, and blah blah blah, she was interested in me. We're gonna go our separate ways. We'll meet up again, but I'm gonna go travel the world and develop my skills even further. And that's a good way to end the series. Animes have been known to do that at times. But yeah, Dylan, felt that, as far as GX's timeline goes, that's where it falls into Bonds Beyond Time. That is, due to the fact that when we see Jaden at the beginning of the film, he's running, for his life from the Cyber End Dragon in what looks like to be Venice, Italy, or some part of Europe or whatever. And then as far as 5Ds go, he kind of feels like it takes place in the middle of two arcs. Like it takes place after the the Dark Sinners or Dark Signers arc, and then the World Grand Prix arc that comes after, or came after that one. And I look at it this way: those are good, valid points, but the way it feels, technically, is I think it takes place near the end of the series. That's when it takes place. And the reason I say that is because when we see Jaden wake up from his nightmare, but then we also look at how the city, New Domino City, looks. It almost feels like it's towards the end of everything they've gone through. It's like everything they've dealt with previously, from the Dark Steiners to the World Grand Prix and all that, has concluded, and we're pretty much at the end of the series. So my assumption is Bonds Beyond Time, as far as the 5Ds go, takes place, literally before the finale of the series, like the final episode or so. If you catch my drift, I think it takes place before the final episode, and that it would make sense if it did, because if this is mainly a 5Ds movie, but it's is to help celebrate the 10th anniversary of the franchise. To me, it would make sense that it would take place literally before the final episode or so happened. Before the episode where, as Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything covered in another video last year for Valentine's Day, where he assumes that the moment we had between Akiza and Yusei was a romantic one, and they became an item and they kissed and all that. So to me, if I was to, from a chronological standpoint, timeline-wise, place Bonds Beyond Time for 5Ds, if I was to choose a place, I would say it's before that final episode. Just by the way that everything is set up, before everything pretty much starts going to heck again, if you will, thanks to Paradox. I feel that it takes place literally, like I said, right before that final episode, that final conclusion to 5Ds, in my opinion. As far as Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duel Monsters timeline, I know that basically he pointed out some interesting scenarios in there. What potentially could be animation errors or whatever, which I'm gonna go and say they were, because when you're creating something like this, and you're doing it, at a certain amount of, at a certain pace, you have a deadline or whatever to meet, you're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna, probably base it off certain designs, off certain models and all that, and all the models you have available. So I'd say that some of the animation errors, like Pegasus having the Millennium Eye or something that looks like it, I would say was because that was probably the only model of Pegasus they had available to them. So I'm gonna go with that, and that's probably something that not really on their fault. It's just what they had available to them, and again, they were probably on a time crunch. So there's that. As far as Yu-Gi-Oh! And design and the fact that he's still connected with the Pharaoh, with a Tem, and then we see the Battle City design of a Tem, which was from the second season, third season. I would say if I'm going to line this up, timeline wise, I'm gonna say this takes place after Waking the Dragons. Yeah. Well, actually, the way it's worked out, the way it looks, actually, I'm gonna say it's after Waking the I would say it's after Waking the Dragons and after the KC Grand Prix. That's what I think it is. I think it takes place after Waking the Dragons, and more likely after the KC Grand Prix. That's what I feel. So to me, if I look at all three series, and I look at how they line up chronologically from a timeline wise, and how that chronological timeline between all three connects with Bonds Beyond Time, I would say Yu-Gi-Oh! I would say the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist Monster timeline connects with it, and that the duel with Paradox takes place after KC Grand Prix. I would say that after the Waking Dragons and KC Grand Prix deal, I would say that. I would say literally this takes place before Dawn of the Duel. I'll put it that way. So yeah, that's gonna be my final. Yeah, that's my final. Honestly, I would say that's my final conclusion on that. That if I look at it from a chronological standpoint, continuity standpoint, I'd say Dawn of the Duel. I would say the Duelists. I would say Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters continuity and timeline. That this takes place right before Dawn of the Duel. So yeah, that's how that to me, when I really think about it, that does make more sense chronologically and continuity wise. So basically, when you get down to it, And in my opinion, my honest opinion, I would say that chronologically and continuity-wise, from a timeline perspective, matching up the timeline, but Bonds Beyond Time, and where it connects, I feel that it takes place right before that the duel with Paradox. This whole event, this whole Bonds Beyond Time thing, from the Duelist Monsters perspective, or the Duelist Monsters series, the original series, I say it takes place before Dawn of the Duel. From the GX timeline, I say it takes place, and I do agree with Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything on this, that it does take place after the series is over, well, at least the Americanized version of the series. When Jaden's going around the world to master, to further master his dueling skills as a duelist. And that for 5Ds, I say it takes place before the final episode. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. When I really think about it, straight up shoot with you on this, unscripted, if you will, that I feel from a timeline, from a chronological continuity timeline, but this original trilogy of Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, that, as far as Duel Monsters, it takes place, that this battle with Paradox, this event, takes place before Dawn of the Duel. GX, I do agree with Dylan, it takes place after GX. And that with 5Ds, I say it takes place before the final episode. That's just my opinion. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely. Because like Dylan himself said of Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, like he said himself, this is a timeline situation because of either the uniqueness, the storyline element of Bonds Beyond Time. It's one of those kind of events, movies, if you will, that even though it is canon, placing it continuity-wise, canonized-wise, within the realm of all three original three series, is a bit of a headache, and is kind of frustrating, because if you're saying it is canon, then you gotta specifically, especially if you're the creators, you gotta let the people that are gonna see this know exactly which time and place of each series, it takes part in, where it connects. But yeah, in my honest opinion, like I said, straight up shoot, unscripted, I say, as far as Duel Monsters go, the original series, I say it takes place before Dawn of the Duel. GX, I'm in agreement, it takes place after the series, or at least the Americanized version of the series. Season 3, that is. While Jaden is traveling the world. And then as far as 5Ds go, it takes place before the final episode. And as an old saying goes, for a game show, that's my final answer. Duel Monsters takes place before Dawn of the Duel, GX after the show is done, and 5Ds right before the final episode. That's just my opinion. But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm right about that? Or do you think maybe Dylan has more of a greater, more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? More of a greater breakdown as to where he feels it takes place? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments, as well on the live chat during the premiere. Super chats are open during the live chat during the premiere. I would really appreciate if you guys can put a live chat in there when you talk about it. But what do you guys think? Or honestly, where do you think it takes place? Which part of all three original Yu-Gi-Oh! Trilogy shows do you think it takes place in? What are your thoughts? Comment below, live chat during the premiere, like the video, check me out at the Teespring store. Also check me out at BW Rose's Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Listener support is activated on Anchor.fm if you're listening there. And video podcasting is available on Spotify and any other podcast affiliate that allows video podcasting as an alternative to audio. Also check me out at BW Roses on VENMO. Check me out at patreon.com/BW Roses for the $1, $3 or $1 or $3 tier. I am considering a $5 one for Q&As in the future, but we'll see about that. Also check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2. Till next time, guys, again, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think I got a point of the fact that it takes place before Dawn of the Duel, after GX, and right before the final episode of 5Ds? Do you think, maybe Dylan's more on point with it? Or what do you guys think? Where do you think it honestly, falls in, in between with all three shows? Let me know down below in the live chat, and I'll talk to you later.